We all know large language models like GPT and ChatGPT have been rapidly advancing and reshaping the technological landscape, right? Well, get this, a team of absolute mad lads at Microsoft Research just figured out how to create language models that are equally capable, but require only one bit of data to operate. That's right, you blinked and missed it, one bit. As in singular, individual ones and zeros in binary form. Not 16-bit, not 8-bit, not even a paltry 4-bit. Just utterly stripped down to the bare fundamentals of ones and freaking zeros. I'm talking about a technology that could legitimately spark a revolution not just in the field of machine learning, but in the fundamental architectures of computing itself. The kind of exponential disruption that resets the playing field from scratch and sends shockwaves rippling out in all directions. So let me break it down for you. We're all familiar with language models like GPT and ChatGPT at this point, right? These massively powerful AI systems that can understand and generate human-like text on virtually any topic. The basic premise is that they learn patterns from devouring billions of words of data, then use that knowledge to navigate language with human-level fluency. But here's the catch, under the hood, making all those intricate language connections requires a ludicrous amount of computation. We're talking data centers full of energy-guzzling processors crunching quintillions of calculations just to spit out a simple response. It's obscenely inefficient and expensive at scale. Well, get ready to have your mind blown into the stratosphere, because a team of big-brained researchers just figured out a way to create equally capable language models using a tiny fraction of the computational power. I'm talking one-bit processing here, folks. As in, ones and zeros, binary. The fundamentals. You're probably thinking, PY man, have you been dipping into the quarantini stash again? How in the Zuckerborg is that even possible? I hear you, I really do. When I first read the paper detailing this BitNet B1.58 model, I had to triple-check I wasn't being punked. Squeezing all the complexity of a cutting-edge language AI into one-bit operations just seems to defy logic and reason. But the more I dug in, the more pie-surely it became that these mad lads have genuinely cracked the code. They've redesigned the core architecture from the ground up, replacing all those power-hungry floating-point operations with streamlined integer additions and subtractions. On a high level, it's sort of like converting a massively detailed photo into a mere one-bit, black and white representation that somehow still captures all the nuance. Or picturing the swirls of a Van Gogh painting as just ones and zeros, madness. But apparently when you think in binary, it works shockingly well for language too. I won't lie though, a lot of the technical details went miles over my head. There was talk of quantization functions and rotary embeddings and ladder compression that made me cross-eyed. But from what I can gather, these researchers have pulled off some brilliant optimization feats. For instance, they figured out how to coax just as much expressive modeling power out of simple ones, zeros, and -1s as traditional language models get from massive 16-bit numbers. It's like Volkswagen tuning some ancient computer from the 60s to run Crysis at max settings. Unreal. But here's where it gets even crazier, according to their benchmarks. Once you hit a critical model size of around 3 billion parameters, these one-bit monstrosities can go head-to-head with conventional 16-bit language models of the same size, and match them toe-to-toe on basically every metric. Same quality output, same capabilities, just vastly reduced computational costs. It boggles the mind. We're talking potential speed-ups of over 4x, memory footprint reductions up to 7x, and projected energy efficiency gains of 40x or more compared to current models. Those are gigantic numbers, folks. But as unfathomable as those figures are, the real explosion to my noggin comes from the door this opens for AI accessibility. See, the main bottleneck for running huge language models locally on devices has always been the memory and computation limits of small hardware like phones and home computers. With one-bit models slashing those requirements by orders of magnitude though, the researchers posit we could realistically see insanely powerful, multi-billion parameter language AIs getting deployed directly onto edge devices and mobile chips in the near future. Let that in a synthesis for a second, having an AI assistant as capable as ChatGPT, or heck maybe even more advanced, residing natively on your measly little iPhone or budget Android. You could carry around a private Jarvis or C3PO in your pocket, and it wouldn't even drain your battery life. I don't know about you, but that hits me with some serious whiplash from the future vibes. I can vividly picture a world where these hyper-intelligent language models are fully democratized and ubiquitous for every person on Earth. Possessing one could be as common as having a smartphone is today. Imagine what the dispersed brainpower could help us achieve, cutting-edge scientific research from home, spur-of-the-moment business consulting while walking down the street, or heck, just always having an amazing writing partner on hand to help with those peskily elusive words. Of course, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. There are still some legit hurdles to clear before we arrive at that AI singularity utopia. Dystopia depending on your perspective. For one, squeezing these billions of parameters down into one-bit form is all well and good, but current hardware isn't really optimized for that type of bare-bones binary processing en masse yet. The paper projects would need specialized chips and compute architectures tailor-made for this unique one-bit computing paradigm to truly unlock the full potential. So in the short term at least, we may be stuck with a hybrid approach of having one-bit calculating cores offload to regular processors or GPUs for certain operations. There's also the potential elephant in the room of how stripping language models down to the ones and zeros could impact their higher-level reasoning and safety properties that the researchers didn't really explore. Like, are we sacrificing advanced multimodal capabilities or general intelligence at the altar of efficiency? Valid concerns to hash out for sure, but big picture, I'm still giddy as a kid on a caffeine drip just thinking about the possibilities here. This one-bit bitnet discovery feels like a genuine revolution in computing, busting through long-accepted constraints on performance and efficiency in a single serpentine stroke. It's the type of disruptive innovation that shapes paradigm shifts, not just incremental progress. So while there's bound to be growing pains and hiccups along the way, I've got a sneaky feeling these crazy one-bit language models are just the tip of the iceberg. They're an early harbinger of an era where raw computational costs become increasingly irrelevant, allowing AI development to be bounded only by our innovation and ambition. Maybe I'm being an overly wide-eyed optimist here, but part of me senses we're on the precipice of a mind-boggling explosion in artificial intelligence capabilities across the board. One propelled by banishing the energy vampires of traditional chips and making high-powered AI ubiquitous for the masses. So buckle up and brace your awestruck brain cells, people. If upstarts like BitNet are any indication, the incoming tidal wave of one-bit, binary, and hyper-optimized computing models is going to make the current AI renaissance look like the fidget spinner craze in comparison. We're staring down the gullet of a legitimately uncharted technological frontier. And whether it excites or terrifies you, one thing is certain, it's going to be one hell of a wild ride. Let me know your biggest brain explosions about this development down in the comments below. Am I underselling the earth-shattering impacts of one-bit AI, or did I somehow still downplay the sheer absurdity of what these researchers have pulled off? Drop some mind-blown emojis and gush all your amazement with me. If you made it through this absolute torrent of one-part analysis, one part unrestrained or gushing, and enjoyed having your grey matter bent like a spoon, you know the drill. Smash that like button into itty-bitty pieces and subscribe for more future shock tech dissections. And as always, a mountain of humble thank yous to all my stellar channel members and patrons still supporting this labor of love. I'm heading off to go lie down and mentally untangle myself for a few days. But I'll catch you all again very soon here on the bleeding edge of mind-expanding technology.